So this weekend is arguably the largest Magic tournament of all time. It is the Mythic Invitational, a 64-player invite-only tournament at PAX East. 32 members of the Magic Pro League, the MPL, will be attending. We've got selected content creators and streamers and what are being deemed challengers, and then 8 players that qualified through Magic Arena grinding. And I have been selected to be one of those streamers and I guess a challenger, which is actually pretty unique. The prize pool is $1 million. First place gets $250,000, and if you get last place, you walk out of there with at least $7,500 for what is definitely the largest prize pool Magic tournament of all time, but I think it is the most important Magic tournament of all time. Duo Standard is a Magic Arena format. We've never seen this format before, where you have the ability to choose 2 different decks. So you get the opportunity to bring 2 different decks, and then it's kind of random on which one you'll play in game 1, then you'll play the other one in game 2, and then in game 3 you have the opportunity to choose, assuming you get to a 3rd game. But no sideboarding, 60 card decks, and the games will probably be pretty quick. And that's kind of what the format looks like. It's a very unique, different format. Very different from anything we've seen in competitive Magic. So when I got the invite to the Mythic Invitational, the first thing I did was take a step back, take a look at the format, take a look at how I can approach the format, because I'm on my own for this, and say, all right, how much time do I have to dedicate to getting ready for this tournament? And, 22 or 23-year-old me would have all the time in the world. I used to play Magic 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, and the only reason it wasn't 7 days a week was because I was playing a Pro Tour qualifier somewhere in the Midwest. So technically I probably was playing 7 days a week, right? But I'm 33 now, I'm not 22 anymore. I have a lot of responsibilities, I have to manage my time appropriately, but I also have to say, hey, this is a great opportunity and I want to do well in this tournament, so how do I juggle all of these plates? I've got to build a 60-card deck, I have to be able to win a game with that 60-card deck, and build a second 60-card deck if I feel like there are 2 good options. So, taking a look at the format and taking a step back and saying, okay, what's important in this format? First and foremost is winning the die roll. It's best of 1, we don't have access to sideboard, so you have to have a very good main deck, and if you've played Magic long enough, you know that being on the play is advantageous to being on the draw. So I want to maximize that if I win the die roll, I have the opportunity to win the match as best as possible. And kind of working through that process led me towards mono white, and just realizing that this is a deck that really maximizes being on the play the best in this format. And now it's just kind of working out the kinks. And that allows me to maximize my time to the best of my ability, and that's what I did to get ready for the tournament. Crazy I was here 3 weeks ago, honestly. It's like pretty wild. Look, I'm gonna do the best that I can to get us there. Okay?
We'll let the viewers determine that.
Are you recording? Oh god, I gotta get used to this.
What do you mean, am I recording?
I just have to get used to it.
What is...
No, I want you to be. I just have to get used to it. That's all.
People are playing multiple copies of Pride of the Carnarian main deck.
Yep.
It would be nice to have a way around that.
It is nice.
Once you sideboard, cards just get cheaper, are more expensive based on matchup. This guy loves pixels.
And PAX East right now. Wednesday? Today Wednesday?
Wednesday?
Yeah, today's Wednesday. Going to do photos and an interview, and they'll probably have like some cool jacket for me that I'll wear in the tournament. And then I think they're also going to check my account and make sure that all my cards are there. So this is the calm before the storm, as they say. Though I don't play until Friday, and today's Wednesday, so it's a big calm. What does this thing do?
If it dies, make a 1/1.
You could get unstable or unbreakable. It's probably not going to get much better. So I'm in Group C, which has been deemed the group of death, which is something that's like a soccer thing that people say. And so my initial reaction was actually kind of shocked because Brad Nelson, a longtime friend, sent me a text message and said, "LOL, nice group." And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about, first of all. So he's like, "Have you seen your group for the Mythic Invitational?" And I was like, "No." And so I open it up and I see the list of names and I go, come on. Like, you know, this group of just players that are just so outrageously talented and have so many accomplishments, so many more than I have in my career. And it's also just a bunch of people that I know that I've played against, and some of them I've beaten before. But you know, it's just like this is crazy. You know, like it could have been so much easier, but this one is so hard. But also part of me, because I'm so competitive, is thinking, man, it's going to be a great story if I make it out of this group. So now, like, I really want to make it out of this group. So I've got Brian Von Duin, William Huey Jensen, Reed Duke, Seth Manfield, Luis Scott Vargas, and what one could argue maybe the most accomplished group of challengers that are not in the MPL in my group. And then there's also me. You know, people can stereotype me. A lot of people are going to know what I'm playing in the tournament, which is, you know, a mono white deck. And that doesn't really bother me, but I just like the idea of, hey, you all know what I'm playing. I was able to beat you anyway because I found a build of this deck that I like. I play these decks well, and let's see what happens. I don't care if you know that I'm playing this. Beat me. And if you can't, my story's great. So it's win-win for me either way.
Hello, PAX East 2019. How are you? Hello, good morning. It is bright and early 10 a.m. here, and it is time to begin the Mythic Invitational. So thrilled that you could all make it out this morning. We have 4 days of action starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, where we will have 64 players playing for $1 million in prize pool. Now, this is Tyson's first ever competitive.
I think this is really Magic starting to take the esports change seriously. We've seen a lot of conversation about esports, right? And, you know, Magic has always kind of lagged behind because of, one, it's a tabletop card game. 2 is that Magic Online as a program was pretty poor when you compare it to the other games in the competition like Hearthstone. And so all of a sudden they came out with this game in Magic Arena, or this new program in Magic Arena, and now things have really changed quite a bit. And unsurprisingly, that's what happens when you have a program that's actually pretty good and pretty high quality. So all of a sudden, there's this huge influx in money and attention on Magic that many have felt, myself included, should have been there for a long time. It wasn't, but it is here now, and everybody wants to be a part of it. Everyone wants to see what's going to happen with this new shift and dynamic that's happening in esports for Magic the Gathering, and it's really important that at this Mythic Invitational, honestly, everything just kind of goes right. I'm a huge underdog. No one expects me to win this tournament. No one expects me to advance through my group. Why would they? There are 8 or 9 people that are better than me, at least in the group, that are more accomplished than me. And I don't play Magic competitively the way that I used to at the early stages of the decade. Now, when I'm well-tested and, you know, prepared for a tournament, do I think I can beat anybody? I absolutely do. Do I think that I'm pretty well-tested and prepared for this tournament? I absolutely do. But does that mean that my preparation and my knowledge of the format gives me an edge over Reed Duke and Luis Scott Vargas and William Jensen and Brian Braun-Duin and all these other great players in the MPL? No, it doesn't. But that doesn't mean I can't win. I can definitely still win. But do I expect anyone who's excited to watch this tournament at home to pick me? No, you'd be crazy to. Why would you pick me? It doesn't make any sense. I guess the only reason you would pick me is because aggressive decks are good in this format and I'm good at playing aggressive decks. So, you know, that's one leg for you to stand on, but I don't expect anyone to pick me, and that makes it fun for me. I am excited to play. I think it's a great opportunity. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be going to Boston, Massachusetts to play in a tournament at PAX East, one of the biggest conventions for gaming, and being one of the main focuses on the weekend. I grew up playing Magic in a small store in Strongsville, Ohio, and now I'm flying to Boston, and I'm gonna be in some sort of arena-style room with computers and headsets and everything that I see with League of Legends, and there's gonna be a crowd, and it's all just really cool. So yeah, I'm excited. Mike, I was supposed to fit 2 decks. When I wake up the morning to play the Mythic Invitational, I don't think I'll be nervous initially. I'll take a shower, I'll go to the gym, I'll get some breakfast. But I think the closer that I get to it being my time to play, I'll start to get a little nervous. And I'll get nervous because I want to win. Because for as detached as I am from being a professional Magic player, whenever I play in a Pro Tour, or whenever I'm doing well in a Grand Prix, or whenever I get the opportunity to play in a tournament that matters, I want to win. There will be some nerves because there's going to be a lot of people watching, and I want to do well, and I want to put on a good show, and everything else. So I'm very much looking forward to it, but there will be some nervous energy, and I'd be surprised if there wasn't. I think it's only natural.
The arena's over there.
Friday morning here at PAX East, getting ready for my feature match against Luis Scott Vargas. We just tested everything to make sure it all works, so we're good to go in the feature match area. And we're going to be the stars of the show to kick this thing off. We've got an entrance planned, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. And I know that Luis is playing Mono Red and Esper, and I'm playing Mono White ×2. I like my Mono Red matchup. I think the Esper matchup is pretty close. He has 6 Razz, 4 Kaya's Razz, and 2 Cry of the Carnarium, which makes things a little more difficult for me, a little bit less spot removal, so a little worried about that, but feel good. Feel good.
I am playing, I want to say longtime rival, but it's hard to have a rivalry when you never beat the person. Luis Scott Vargas, who I met at Pro Tour Philadelphia 2005. Our paths have crossed many times, in which case he's trumped me basically every time. Pro Tour Kyoto, I top 8'd my big tournament, he got 2nd. Every time that we play against each other on Magic Online or Magic Arena, I lose. I played against him and his team at Grand Prix Washington, D.C. 2016. We were both like out of day 2 contention. I lost. I never beat him. I never like finish above him. It's just, I'd like to get 1 over him for once in my life. And what better time to do so than literally the biggest Magic tournament of all time.
Our second competitor from the United States of America, longtime Magic player and entrepreneur, it is Cedric Phillips. Louise will be playing mono red and Esper control. Cedric will be playing mono white and mono white. Can't waste cardboard, can ya?
Very key card here.
Unbreakable formation off the top of the library there. You got to protect this board, do you not? And Luis says, of course he had it.
Notice Luis's reaction though. He didn't even flinch.
He did. He nodded to it.
He nodded, but he didn't sigh. He just.
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
not going to show you anything.
No, that's part of magic.
Life. And Cedric has to decide whether to run West Wing Falcon out there. He wisely decides to keep it. And that is game number 1 going to Cedric Phillips. He's on the board. He's got that white weenie deck at the ready. And he's got another one lined up for game number 2 as well. But
yeah.
Luis is happy to just play defense here. And look at this, another venerated Loxodon. Back-to-back Loxodons. Maybe that's good enough?
Yeah, that's a great draw. I mean,
burn spells to take out creatures plus trading off his only creature. That's going to leave Cedric, though, with a full 8 power. And Luis is completely out of gas and up against the ropes. He needs something now. And Fanatical Firebrand is not it. And bang, down to 1 for Luis, and all he can find is another copy of Shock off the top of the library, and this is Cedric Phillips defeating Luis Scott Vargas and moving on to the next stage.
He's one of the best Magic players of all time, arguably the best Magic player of all time, so I never win, and I actually went through our match history and looked them all up and wrote them all down, and I've seriously lost every time. So what better time than to get one? I'm due, as they say, than right here, and fortunately I did. So to Luis, who might be an earshot of this, thank you. Next.
All right, you heard it, Challenger. Cedric is ready for you.
Feels fucking good. My heart got racing a little bit there, more than I thought it would. Now I'm like 1x lifetime against Luis, but I'll take it. I'll take it. The biggest tournament ever.
It's like a wildfire burning the snow. You're killing the snow. A deadly weapon with a microphone. Killing the slow.
I put against Seth Manfield, Pro Tour champion, Hall of Famer, all that jazz. He was playing red and Esper like most people are. Venerated Loxodon's actually not great in the matchup, and that got Thought Erasered, and then I ended up losing 2-0. So Seth is great. He's always very difficult to beat. I don't beat him very often.
I see you watching my body, popping it up. My music rocking it up. We party stopping it up.
All right, I just got done playing in SJOW in round number 3, and unfortunately, I picked up my second loss in the tournament, which means I'm out. SJOW wins. He got to move on, and my day was done. And on that high from beating Luis, and now kind of on that low. To make matters worse, I just played in a Ravnica Allegiance side event, and I just lost round 1 of that. So after my win against Luis, I have not won a match yet. And you know, sometimes the highs are pretty high in Magic and the lows are pretty low. So right now, I just want to win another match before I get out of here.
Peace out.
There isn't one thing that's going to make this weekend a success for me, because the result doesn't matter to me. I could lose the 4 games that I'm guaranteed to play. I could win every game that I play and no one deals me a single point of damage, which admittedly would be cool. This weekend is already a success for me because I'm part of something that has never happened before. I'm one of 64. I've put a lot of time and hard work into this, and it is nice to be noticed and recognized for that. And honestly, that is good enough for me, because that means that all of the work that I've put into being either a Magic player or a content creator or a commentator or a streamer or the online content coordinator or the voice of the tour is being recognized, when a lot of the time I felt like it wasn't. And that is more than enough for me at this stage of my life.
It'll be fine.
Fine by me, man.
Great. New England clam chowder. Is that the red or the white? Ah, I never remember that. Did you film that? I lost. Is that on camera? I lost. Once you came over here, it all went bad.